This is my daily writing, recorded. Part 1, titled, What to Do About John. Doing it a fifth time is really going to make the difference. John threw a puzzled look towards David at the other end of the room. David returned an almost imperceptible shake of the head and scratched the side of his neck. Do you really think so? John asked Gerald as his hand gently rubbed his just-shaven chin. I'm telling you, man, the fifth time is definitely going to be it. John, though, wasn't too sure. I don't know, man. He threw another glance towards David, who had just disappeared. John looked around the room to see where he had gone, but could not find him. I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, Gerald assured John. He placed his hand upon John's shoulder and patted his back a few times. It's all you. The fifth time is definitely going to work. You tried 4 times and failed. So what? The fifth time, man. The fifth time is going to be the charm. I don't know, man, John replied, moving out of Gerald's grasp. He moved closer towards the window and leaned with his shoulder against the dusty brick wall. Gerald moved up with him. He took his spot opposite John beside the window and crossed his arms. I'm telling you, the fifth time is going to be it. You failed 4 times. A lot of people fail. At least now you know what mistakes to avoid. You've made them already. John went from cupping his chin with his hand to fervently stroking his cheeks to running his hand through his hair. His eyes darted around the busy room in search for David who, not an hour ago, assured him that he wasn't going to desert him in his hour of need. I suppose, John whispered softly. For Gerald, it was enough of an in. Of course, man, he said, with a balled fist. You just have to keep trying. You'll work it out eventually. No need to worry. It's a matter of practice, isn't it? If you do it long enough, you eventually get it right. John sighed. Yeah, maybe. No, not maybe, Gerald replied, a tad annoyed. It will work out. I don't understand why you don't believe me. I'm always right. When I tell you something is going to work out, you better believe me. John did not dare to disagree with Gerald, so instead he pressed his lips together firmly and put on a thin smile, one that showed that he felt reluctant about the whole thing, but that he was convinced by the words Gerald had thrown his way. Gerald seemed pleased with the result, and left John on his own in fear he might otherwise spoil his good work with more words. He pushed himself away from the window and began to mingle amongst the other party guests, diligent to avoid any encounter with David. David in the meantime busied himself with avoiding both Gerald and John together. If only for today, he wanted to have a good time. He wanted to feel pleasant for a change and not occupy himself with the troubles of others, even if the other was a dear and close friend to his. No, today Gerald wanted to be at peace and drown himself in sweet-tasting alcohol. John didn't really know what to do. It was clear to him that David was avoiding him. He thought of talking to him and asking why he had been abandoned to Gerald's persuasive grasp, but that was not done, and John also wasn't really in the mood for a conflict. He thought of drinking his troubles away, but thought the better of it. He needed his mind to be clear for later. But then again, what else was he going to do? There was no one else he knew at the party, and talking to strangers was a bothersome affair. This is the end. Nothing more has been recorded or written down. Thank you for listening.